Hello my fellow anglers and friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of fishing to prepare you for what promises to be a truly intriguing day on the water. Monday, the 3rd of November 2025. This isn't just any day, my friends. The weather patterns forming over the United Kingdom are setting the stage for some unique fishing opportunities and challenges. While it looks like an unsettled, wet and windy day, we've got some specific insights that could turn a potentially difficult trip into a memorable one. Stay tuned because I'm going to share some real gold on how to outsmart the fish and make the most of this November day, no matter the conditions. Now let's talk tactics and target species for this particular Monday. Based on what the fish are generally doing in early November and combining that with our weather forecast, here are a few species I think you should focus on. First up, for our freshwater enthusiasts, let's talk about perch. These aggressive little predators are usually quite active in November, and they love chasing lures. With water temperatures trending downwards, perch will be on the hunt for easy meals before the deep cold truly sets in. You'll want to target areas with plenty of cover, such as submerged structures, drop-offs and reed beds in lakes and slower-moving rivers. These spots offer both shelter and ambush points for perch. For tackle, a light spinning rod with a small reel spooled with light braid is ideal. My go-to lures for perch in these conditions are small silver spinners or soft plastic jigs, perhaps in natural colors like green pumpkin or brown. Work your lure slowly along the bottom or jig it subtly around those deeper snags. Remember, they're greedy, so don't be afraid to try lures that seem a bit larger than you'd expect for their size. Next, let's consider the majestic pike, cod. November is a fantastic month for pike as they're actively feeding up for winter. They're often found in lakes and slow-moving rivers and canals, especially where there's abundant vegetation. Think weed beds, lily pads, or submerged trees. These are prime ambush locations where they wait for unsuspecting prey. Given the unsettled weather, they might be even more inclined to hug these sheltered areas. You'll need a stronger setup for these powerful fish. A medium-heavy spinning or bait-casting rod with a robust reel and a strong main line coupled with a wire trace is essential. Large, soft plastic shads, wobblers, or dead baits fished on a legger rig can be incredibly effective. Cast your lures close to those cover spots and retrieve them with a stop-and-go motion, giving the pike time to strike. They're tough, so handle them with care and use appropriate unhooking tools. Moving on to a more accessible freshwater target, we have the humble roach. These common fish are a staple of UK waters and can provide great sport even in challenging conditions. They typically gather in large shoals, seeking out shaded areas in ponds, lakes, and slow-moving rivers. Look for them near bridges under overhanging trees and especially around reed beds, particularly where the depth drops off. A simple float fishing setup or a light feeder rod can be very effective. For bait, bread punch, maggots, or small worms are classic choices that almost always work for roach. Introduce a little ground bait to draw them in and keep them interested. Given the mild temperatures for November, they might be slightly more active than in a colder snap, but the rain might push them a bit deeper. Finally, for those brave enough to venture to the coast or in more sheltered estuaries, let's talk about whiting. These sea fish become more abundant in autumn and are often at their best in November, growing to a good size as they feed aggressively. They're found all over the British Isles and are known for their competitive feeding, often snapping at bait faster than other species. While strong winds and rain might make open sea fishing tricky, targeting whiting from piers, jetties, or sheltered beaches could be worthwhile. A 3-hook flapper rig, perhaps with luminous beads fished with ragworm, lugworm, or mackerel strips, is a proven method. They're not fussy eaters, making them a great target, even for less experienced sea anglers. Remember to check local conditions for safety as the Met Office predicts strong winds and potential gales, especially in the west. All right, friends, let's break down the conditions and understand why the fish might be behaving as they are on Monday, the 3rd of November, 2025. Weather. The forecast for the UK on this day is for a generally unsettled picture. We're expecting low atmospheric pressure to dominate especially across western regions. This often means fish can be a bit more finicky, as rapid pressure drops can make them uncomfortable and less inclined to feed actively. Air temperatures are predicted to be relatively mild for early November, around 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, that's 49 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, in many areas, perhaps even slightly above average for the time of year. However, don't let the mild air fool you. Strong winds are likely, with the possibility of gales, particularly in the west, and a good chance of rain throughout the day. This combination of low pressure, strong winds, and precipitation suggests that fish might seek deeper, more stable water, or hug close to cover to escape the turbulence. Water temperature. In early November, UK water temperatures are typically on a downward trend. Coastal waters, such as around freshwater, might still be around 14 degrees Celsius, about 57 degrees Fahrenheit, at the start of the month, gradually decreasing. In freshwater lakes and rivers, temperatures will be slightly cooler and will also be falling. This cooling water triggers a pre-winter feeding response in many species, as they try to bulk up before the coldest months. While some fish will move deeper to find more stable temperatures, others will become more active in the milder conditions, seeking out food sources before they become scarce. Moon phase. On November 3rd, 2025, we have a prominent waxing gibbous moon. This means the moon is nearly full, with about 93 to 95% of its surface illuminated and growing larger. The full moon itself, the beaver moon, is just 2 days away. Many anglers believe that the period around a full moon and the waxing gibbous phase can stimulate fish activity, often leading to increased feeding, especially during twilight hours or even at night. The moon will be in Aries, and while exact scientific links are debated, many old-school fishermen swear by the moon's influence on tides and fish behavior, suggesting moderate tides are expected. General fish activity. Overall, early November sees a transition. Many summer species are now gone or less active, while winter residents and active predators come to the fore. Sea fish are definitely grouping up and adding weight, making them a good target if you can brave the conditions. Freshwater predators like pike and perch are in their prime feeding periods. Roach and other coarse fish will be shoaling, often seeking deeper, more comfortable water, but still actively feeding. The milder air temperatures for November should keep overall activity reasonable despite the low pressure and wind, but fish will be more concentrated in their preferred holding areas. Considering all these factors, the mild yet unsettled weather with low pressure, falling but still reasonable water temperatures and a strong waxing gibbous moon, my overall assessment for fishing on the 3rd of November 2025 would be capricious to good eye, with a clear leaning towards ad good toe if you adapt your approach. The low pressure, strong winds and rain will make it challenging, especially for static fishing or exposed locations, so expect some tricky periods. However, the mild temperatures for November and the approaching full moon could trigger strong feeding spells, particularly for active predators like perch and pike and opportunistic feeders like whiting. Stay mobile, seek sheltered spots, and focus on those prime feeding windows. Well, my friends, that's your comprehensive forecast for fishing on Monday, the 3rd of November 2025. I sincerely hope this gives you the edge you need to have a fantastic day on the water. Remember, every day is a fishing day if you know how to read the signs. So I wish you all tight lines and nippy bites. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this helpful. Subscribe for more expert tips and leave a comment below to tell me, what are your plans for fishing this week? What's your favorite November catch? Share your stories. I love hearing them. Until next time, happy fishing, everyone.